Hello everyone, it's Sloth here. Today I wanted to showcase the deck that I've already played, but without the commentary. So I wanted to show you guys why I chose some of those cards and what is the idea behind the deck. So obviously there's like classic, so some removal, some board clear. I took the Kai of Carnarium because I think it's a bit too slow to wait for turn 4 for the sweepers. So in reality, if the enemy starts, you need some kind of removal, and if you don't get it, you generally lose the game very often, because the tempo is so in favor of the first player that if he gets a good draw, you just need to board clear very fast. And also the second thing is the graveyard play, so Cry of Carnarium deals with it, as well as, let's say, Adanto and indestructible creatures. So it's a good addition in this meta. Similar reasoning is for Nighthold Scavenger. It's not amazing card. I've tried different 3-drops for a long time, but for me this one makes the most impact. So usually it's hard to remove because he has 3 toughness, and the enemies need to remove it very fast, especially every aggro deck. They just can't handle you having, let's say, 3-4 life a turn and killing their creatures. And given it has a death touch, it always trades. With lifelink you get benefit of life even when they trade, and it has flying, which seems small, but against a lot of decks it actually helps a lot. And for example, versus like enchantment decks, you can block the curiosity creatures, so they don't draw cards. And on the other hand, versus mono blue and all those strange decks, you can just have a good blocker all around. So it's not a great card, but I've been using it and I saw it always has some impact, bigger or less, and it can be a threat even without, even versus control, they need to respect it, so it needs to be removed pretty soon. So I generally like this card. Tome is of course needed because you need card draw. Without it you just find yourself top decking way too much. Solemn is great because you need a lot of swamps, and you also need Cabal Stronghold, and you also need removal and draw. So you just need generally a lot of cards to make it work. And it ramps and blocks and draws you a card, so it's great. I really recommend it. The only problem is to play it and not die, but often you have such situation, and it can chop block like anything, so you know, when the enemy has one big threat, it's just extra turn for you, and the next turn is just stronger than this one. And the classics, so Ugin, Uramok, you don't need to get those explained. Some differences is thought distortion. Generally, control is very rare right now, but I feel that one of those make your gameplay very smooth. Usually they just play it slowly because they have counter spells and you do not. So this, combined with thought size and some planewalker removal, actually makes it quite easy often to win the game, and nobody expects it. It's just one card, but in a slow game they just have all the mana prepared to counterspell and they feel safe because you can't do anything without them counterspelling you, and then you push the thought distortion and they only are left with the board pretty much, and usually they don't have much there. So yeah, I really like this card. It's great in the main deck for the longer games because you will never resolve Mastermind acquisition. If they are smart, they know you will take something like this that's uncounterable, so they won't let you get your wish. And also Wishclaw Talisman. I know it's very weird card. I actually tried 2 or 3 before, but I don't really have much slots for it, so the one is most I can give, but it's a great card, I must say. It seems weird, but what it does is for 1 mana you get the lacking piece of your whole combo. So you either get a mana or a threat to use with mana, and worst case you can go for Mastermind acquisition for the sideboard. So it, like, usually you get removal and win the game with it, and okay, they can like fetch one card, and what they will get, the biggest creature they have, and you have full hand of removal, and you can have the other wish. So for those not familiar how it works, it comes with 3 wish counters, and every player during his turn he can remove one of those and search for a card. So basically you get any card you want from the deck. Generally, cards that we have here answer generally everything enemy can do. So our threats are just better and stronger. So trading 1 card for the enemy for 2 cards for us is huge. And usually, from what I've noticed, they don't really use the talisman when you give it to them, because after you take a wish it goes to the opponent, but they just know it's not worth it. So unless it gives them a winning play, they just never use it. So you get wish for free for 1 mana. It also helps for the matchups that you just need sweeper and win. So usually you go turn 1 to turn 2 removal, turn 3 you can go wishcraft talisman and fetch for like sweeper, and then pretty much you sweep the board, and generally you're in an advantageous situation. So it's weird card, but it's good. Okay, and for the sideboard, this obviously against a graveyard play. This one I'm trying. I never used it so far, but I feel it's great if enemy has strong enchantment that you need to remove cheaply. It also destroys creatures, so it might be handy. Elder Spell is great when enemy has like 2 or 3 planewalkers, and it's very cheap, so during your 6th turn you can actually use both, and sometimes it's game winning then, or at least game saving. Cry of Carnarium, of course, against aggro and graveyard. This one is great against any kind of combo decks, but I have in mind mostly the goblins, because at some point when you won the game, every draw from their part is risk of you losing the game. So unless you can like make sure they won't draw Muxus or fetch for it, you are never completely safe. Every time one card that he draws can win him the game. So it's great, and I like it. And of course it destroys combo decks and some controls. Depending on the deck that you are facing, you can remove the most problematic thing from their deck. And I think it's worth it. And it's only 3 mana. Extinction Event, it's removal or just mass removal. This engine is slow and weird. It's pretty rare that I use it, but for some games when you just need something to stay in the game and provide value, so you don't need particular answer, just some value, it's great. And over like 2, 3, 4 turns, it pretty much wins you the game whatever you draw. So it's nice addition. I remember it carried hard some games. This one is just exile on everything. In case we just need a high quality sweeper that Ugin doesn't fit. Usually we go for Ugin, but for let's say artifacts and planewalkers and things like this, so mostly the colorless deck, we go for the Vault. Shadow's Verdict for all the graveyard cheap Lurus creatures, so that's usually game winning as well. This for control. This one is for slower games. Usually you take it when the enemy has 1 creature in the board and is top decking. Then they cannot really answer, and especially when the creatures don't have haste, they can never populate the board in like reality. Everything they play gets sacrificed, and playing 2 creatures a turn when you still draw and can remove them is too much to like follow through. This one is for card advantage, but probably I would remove it in time. I nearly never use it, but it's there in some situations when you have a lot of mana and just need a lot of cards to draw, and next turn you win. Platinum Angel for some decks that cannot remove it, or just, let's say, burn counterplay. If you are on 1 life versus top decking red deck, if you get this, you pretty much cannot lose in the next draw, so that's something that helps. And in the worst case, you die by like 2 or 3 cards, because they need to kill you and then the angel, so usually they don't have 4 damage for creatures. And the icing on the cake, so the Torment of Hailfire, it's also a weird card, but it's one of the few ways that we can directly deal damage, and even if we don't kill the enemy, he usually has to sacrifice a lot. So when we have a lot of mana from Cabal, Stronghold and Swamps, we often have like 10-20 mana. We can just fetch for it, power all the mana that we can have, and next turn we just go for 10-15, and enemy needs usually have 20 health, so he can like pay 6 times, and everything above it needs to be sacrificed from permanents, and still enemies at like 3 life. So it's a good way sometimes to finish the game in one huge spell. So it's like Explosion style or Blaze. And you will see it in action. So I think that's most of it. I hope the introduction wasn't too long. And I really like this deck. It has a lot of possibilities, and I think it's like the greatest thing about this deck is it depends on you. Like, you can have so many decisions, so many cards, and it's up to you what you do. It's up to you what you predict enemy will use, so you can counter it. So I think it rewards better playing in a way than some of the decks. So without further ado, enjoy the video, and I hope you like it. Well, we are going first, and we have both remover and some like Solemn for swamps and some defense, so it should be fine. Especially that we usually need some kind of aggro, so we can always assume that remover is the most important like thing that we will see. So I would love to remove something, and problem is a bit that I think next turn he will play some War Chief, but he cannot attack and we can remove next turn, worst case. We need to be aware of Muxus. Yeah, so right now it's not so funny. We need to kill it next turn. So we probably will kill it. Okay. That's actually good for us, because we can clear both of them. And he's left with 3 mana. He's thinking about playing another creature. But which one? Okay. This is a strange decision. I think he fears something from me. So he might Muxus next turn. So it's possible he wants a 2 mana discount with haste, so even if one is removed, the second one will come. But he will have 4 mana. So if I remove one, he won't be able to. And if he has Krefko, then he will play it. Use the goblins, it's still not really scary. I'm not sure if you want the Maze Mind Tome, but I actually would like to. Let's try it like this. We need to get into play, and we cannot allow him to have this 2 discount, because then he can Muxus. I don't think I'm scared about much else, especially that we can trade with everything. Okay. So this turn we need to kill Goblin War Chief. So he's always 1 mana short. Okay, and now Scries. This is important. Let's try it. I don't think we have much time. And that's not really great. Like, it helps to have 1, but it's not like crucial. Let's draw. Wow, that's something. Okay, we are getting there. And he will cycle it at the end step. But no, yeah, I mean, he might cycle, but he won't kill my creature. We can't do anything about this one, so I think we just do this. And try to scry for some game-winning play. Simulacrum is great because it also blocks and it like propels our strongholds, so next turn we will start to have some power. He can kill it, but still we draw a card, and as you can see he doesn't really want to trade. Let's see what he gets. Is it Moxus? No. So that's good for us. Sorry, it's Krenko, not Krevko. Close enough. But it's hard. Like every single turn, they pretty much threaten to win the game with the correct draw. This thought size was quite good, like it was quite lucky. Do we want a swamp? I don't think so. It's useful, but we just don't have anything to play with it. And we probably will get another anyway. Okay, so when he plays Krenko, we kill the war chief, but so he cannot play the incinerator yet because it's casting only. So he will play Krenko. What do we do? It's 3 mana, so he has 3 left. So we either kill War Chief before he does it. Yeah, like in response we would kill this so they don't have haste. So we actually might as well do it earlier. And of course he's tapping wrong. Okay, let's draw card, see what we get. Okay. And let's just kill the creature that we need to kill. I think we might attack. We are having a lot of life, so that's not a huge problem. And every time we attack we get a bit ahead, especially that it dies anyway. Yeah, and this will become a problem very soon. We have Languish, I believe. Let's draw. Yeah. And he's scared to attack, so we don't get the card, which is smart, I think. But we really need some cards now. Thanks. This is a card. And this is also a card. So we have 6 mana. What do we want to do? Like, I think that we might actually try something different. Okay, so next turn we have 6/6, so it's 12 mana, 9, 15. And with this one we have 18 mana. So we can use Hellfire for 16. He can play 6, so he need, yeah. Okay, so I think that's the play. So, we need to survive this turn. And I will actually use the upkeep scry. But I think the Cabal Stronghold still gives more mana. Let's do it. We might get something better. And we didn't. We need to count if that actually kills him. Okay, so this one is 12. Yeah, so 15 mana. Yeah, I didn't want to do the full control. No? Okay. So for 13. Let's see. I really like what I'm seeing. Let's see if it works. So 10, 13. Yeah. And now the enemy. So he will make 4 tokens. So it's 4. So X is 9. He can play 5. So he needs to sacrifice 4 permanents accepted. Okay, so 1 card is out. He will sacrifice treasure, 4 tokens. I think he only is left with Krenko or Krenko and Ringleader. I could calculate, but we will just see in a second. Oh, even one more. I think he did it wrong. And now we can attack. I think he could pay more. Yeah, and this is how the goblins work, yeah? So in the end, he just draws this one. We need to draw something good. And by good, I don't mean land. Let's go. This is something, so we cannot do the double this, but actually we could. But I'm not sure if it gives anything to us. Like, he might draw it, so I think it's just better to do this. Especially we can block Muxus with this one, and we draw the card when he attacks with everything. Let's see what he gets. Ooh, I won't do it, but that wasn't what he hoped. He hoped for Krenko. So Krenko and probably the War Chief. Yeah, this one. That was a surprisingly close game. Like, probably if I wanted to just win, I wouldn't go for Hellfire. But I think he misplayed it. He should have Krenko, and then with some good goblins he would be able to just one turn hit kill, but he didn't do it. So what do we have here? We have some interaction, some draw and some removal. The only thing we lack is board sweep, and we will see. It seems fine. And let's see what does he have. Obviously. So the shock is fine. Are bone crushers a problem? They are quite slow. Slow but strong. But I think the Vayashina is worse one. Especially he's a wizard, so he might have some discounts. Yeah, you can shock. So he wants to be very mana efficient, and we probably will scry every time, just to have this for life potentially. Okay, I believe we won, but honestly it wasn't over. Like every turn a 4/3, especially if he might get Embercleave once. You need cards to deal with it. If we didn't get some removal, it could be nasty. That's a very interesting hand. Against aggro, it's great. Against non-aggro, it's quite useless. But usually we get aggro, so let's try it. Especially that we are on the play. So it seems like a mono blue. The pirate guy probably. Yeah. So I think the play will be Rider at the end step. So they will feel that that's all we have, and then we cry on our main turn. And we don't need scry. And this is because we want to, like, maybe fake that our idea is to draw with the tome, so they think we don't have anything. Right now they aren't doing much. Like, the damage isn't huge, and they don't have 4 mana to draw cards. And we might actually draw the card, because they aren't doing any threat, and when we get to like high amount of mana, we should be really fine, and we can like override all the cost-based counter spells. So next turn we will have 5 mana and then 7, so then we can start doing things. And Tome will give us for life. So, like, really, for now we can just draw. That's even better. Let's see if we can. I actually think we are in a very good shape. Will something come in the end step? Yeah. And that's interesting. Yeah, that's fine. We don't want them to draw cards, so as long as they don't have 4 mana, it's okay. And we have a lot of stuff. Like, we have huge amount of removal. He will draw card anyway. Yeah. Like, there's no way he will let it die, so we only get 1 HP and that's it. So this will get countered, but it's more mana efficient. And mana efficiency is big thing here. Okay, good. We have a lot here. I don't think we need more. Okay, so let's pretend that's all we have. With no counters. And also he has 4 mana, so if he does anything, he can draw a card. So it pretty much discards 1 card, whatever happens. Okay. And that's great, because we wanted to bait the counter spell. Now let's try this one. Yeah? So he could counter it, but he was greedy, he wanted to get the card drawing guy. But this also draws cards, so I'm not sure if that was best by him. Not sure really. We could use it. He might have an instant creature, but we won't die. Let's go for it. He doesn't have counter spells, so we can just put everything we want. And this is like game winning moment we have mana to one turn kill. Okay, so let's do the thing. And let's go with 2 swamps first. Maybe we draw swamp. Or maybe we don't. I prefer cards for now. Let's just use anything, so he has to counter. We have a huge advantage in cards. And usually with this talisman, you don't really want to... Yeah, it's over. You don't really want to use it in advance, and that's the difference versus Mastermind acquisition, because that card costs 4 mana. So, for example, in this turn, you have 9 mana, so it's half of your turn. And if you can, you prefer to do it turn before, so you have high cast spell from the wish. But here, you can have it for 1 mana. So actually, you can use 8 drop after using it, and you want to do something the same turn, so the enemy cannot counterplay it. So very often you can take Ugin, for example, for 8 mana, then swipe the board, including the talisman, and you are the only person that got the wish, and that's net value. When the enemy uses the wish, it's not worse usually, because then you can counter it with your counter, and you can have your card, and generally you have better answers. So it's rare enemy wants to use it. Usually you just give it to them and they're scared. Thanks, but no thanks. Okay, and this one is better. And now the question. I think I want font size. I want tone to make up for mulligan. And to be honest, I think I prefer Soren. This might be too slow. And I have Cabal Stronghold, so I'm not sure if that's the best play, but I think we just need a lot of things, and Mastermind is good when you have all the mana and not really at the turn 4. Okay, and now we know what we play against. And right now, I really wish I didn't do it. Well, maybe not exactly, but like Solan won't be very useful. It's pretty much a swamp. So the tome is the most important thing here. Our game plan is generally to Mastermind acquisition, and then we are going to like remove the win condition from the enemy deck. And then they just play like a normal creature deck, which it's not so hard to kill. But it depends. If they get all the cards, you just auto lose, and if they don't, or you disrupt it, okay. So when he has 3 lands, we probably fought size, just to make sure he cannot have both answers. So sorry, 2 parts of the combo. So he doesn't have this, or a creature, and this how do you call it? This 2 mana sacrifice a creature and search your library. Yeah? So it seems very calm, but we are on the clock at the moment. I would really prefer to do this. Can he do it? Like, he didn't have any part of the combo. I will risk it. I hope he didn't find those. If he did, he will lose. I honestly don't really like those islands. Like, I understand the idea. Some of them look fine, but for example, this island, it just doesn't look very magical to me. Okay, and that's amazing. Like, I really don't think he should kill it. Like, I will never win by attacking him. So that's the best thing he could do for us. Okay, and now we will fight still. We don't have yet enough mana. But we might get Stronghold, so let's try this. And that's something. Okay. And that's a hard choice. We will try it. Like, I don't want to risk that he has the combo. Okay, so he doesn't have those. So they both work the same. And what mana he has? So he needs blue, green, and then he has... Okay, so for red it's fine. I don't think it's any difference. I think that actually we need to discard the Visionary. Yeah, it draws a card, so it helps him. If he got the right card, he won. If not, I will try to get Swamp. Okay, he didn't get it. I want to have the right card. And that's not the right card. And that's not the right card as well. So we are both digging for the correct card. But I think that... I think I will just use the acquisition. So we will use Necromantia. Because this way, but can he? Yeah, he can kill it. They have the 3 damage card. Okay, so let's give them the chance to win the game. And let's just pray they didn't get it. If they didn't, and they didn't, we can use Necromantia. And then I think they need to change the gameplay into just aggro creatures, and then we have a lot of answers and a lot of draw. We have some space, so let's try to find something that isn't this. Okay, so how much mana do we have? We can first draw a card, so let's try it. And he might do it, so he probably will copy it. Oh, he doesn't have mana, so that's amazing. Let's go for it. No, for... Oh, it's so fulfilling and satisfactory to do this. Okay, so he doesn't have... As you can see, that's all you have to do. Okay, so is it good hand? It's decent. And we are going first. So Rider is very good if you go first, because it's pretty much 2 mana removal in like the tempo wise. On the draw it's super slow and it hurts you, so in a way it gives card advantage. So even though like you trade card for card, if you have like mana and tempo advantage, you still get some card advantage out of this. Okay, so let's play our swamp and let them go. Simulacrum is also nice, especially with this one. Okay, so we have some Simic deck. What can it be? So Bant even. Okay, so the long game. Next turn we do this with Swamp. The Cabal Stronghold is very good to hold until you actually need the mana and can generate a lot. And the reason is that they often don't really expect it. So this way you can pretty much surprise them completely with how much you can do during your turn. So for example, now he expects 6 mana. But he will get 7 mana, and if we do it next turn, if we had another swamp, we like from the 7 mana we can go to like I think above 10. Do we want to do it? I actually do want. And we may actually do it. But do we? Like, I want to kill her, for sure. Oh, it's not so much important to, like, mislead him. It's more important to just kill him. So first, let's check what he has. Okay. Ogin isn't worst. We have Rider for this, and it takes his whole turn. This, on the other hand, is Ramp, and will give him Nissa. And he can afford it. So okay, that's the better one. Then we kill the Nissa. And then we go with the Scavenger, because it pressures a lot, as you can see. They cannot Ugin, they have only lands and some 1 card. Life total isn't very important, but fact that we can kill his creature, well, this one we can, but like Nissa and other threats. That's interesting trait that he gives us. So he feels it's good if we trade. But if he goes Ugin, then he passes it, kills this, and that's what he would want anyway. And if we trade, he cannot Ugin next turn. We need to think about it, because like, it doesn't do really anything versus Ugin. It gives us 3 life. Yeah, and he will play it next turn. I don't think it's good trade for him. So now he cannot play Ugin. Let's see what he gets. And right now we are waiting for some huge card from our side. So, like, not the removal part. So we need tomes, Mastermind acquisition, or just big plays, so Ugin and so on. Yeah, and he will pass and kill it. And then we will play Rider and it will be the same again. So we just repeat the board. We are drawing way too many swamps. It's not horrible, because at some point we draw something and we have a lot of mana, but I would really need to draw something right now. Like, let's remove it before he can do anything with this, and we still have other removal. And this one will hold a bit. Okay. Oh, and he won't trade, but we can always attack. Like, I don't think he will ever trade it. So let's go tome, and then go draw, and then we can swamp and have more mana. But on the other side, like, we really start having a double draw turns, so that's a lot. Okay. So we don't really want to kill it at the moment. Cabal isn't huge because they have a lot of mana. So yeah, we are fine. So right now we just try to draw cards. And finally we will get something. And that's huge, because actually we can just straight up kill. Just not to mess it up. I know how it works, but I will double read it. Exile all creature cards in all graveyards that were put there from the battlefield this turn. Let's do it first. Yeah, and when it dies, and it won't die, it gets exiled. So they don't get any card. And right now we have like empty board and we have tome and they do not. Of course they can draw the perfect card, as they always do. It's first Uro this game. But okay, we'll try to handle it. The problem isn't Uro, because it will get killed anyway, but he will draw 2 cards with it, so it's one card draw that gives him 2 mana, and I still need to remove it. Not sure if Ritual or the other one. I prefer, I think, instant. And that's something. Okay, so now we can play. How much mana do we have? 13. 13 mana. Okay. I don't know yet what I will get. I think very possible that we will do this. We could also do this, but it's slow and it can backfire. They don't have any card hate, so we have 4, 8, so 5 and 8, so 13, so we can do it for 11, and 11 means 33 life. Let's try it. I think we'll win with this. We want Heartless Act, so let's attack. This will be big brains play. He might be scared. And this actually matters, because then I need 1x less to kill him. So that's actually, I think it won't make a difference, but it makes a difference in a lot of circumstances. That sounded weird. Okay, let's draw a card, see what we got. That's something, but we want to go with this play. And I really want to get killed with Hellfire. Yeah? Hailfire. It's pretty nice card. Like, I always thought it's just too weak, but with this deck, it's often one turn kill. And he thinks that, like, what he has matters, but with this, it's just card for card, whatever happens. I think I misplayed a bit because I should have left mana for Act, but I didn't. But I think it shouldn't matter. Oh, okay, and we want to scry because the Swamp or Cabal Stronghold is huge here. And we will count. We will count so we don't miss the lethal. We need 7x to make. This guy really draws cards that he needs. Like, I think that's the only card that actually can save him. Oh man, but I think that we will manage even his godly draws. Yes, I want it. I want it. And we will count. So, we have, just to be sure, we have 15 mana, so 13. So he sacrifices this, and discards the hand, so it's 9. And we can go for 13. Moment, I'm trying to think. Like, we know what it means, so let's do it slow. Let's do the Ugin first. The highest is Nisa, of course, so we go for 5. Yeah. And do we want to kill it now? I think there's no reason not to. We will do it anyway. And without it, he has only Nisa to kill Ugin. And that's 5 mana. And he doesn't have Uro finally. I think this might be enough. I hope it will be enough. But we have a lot of mana. And this one gives Omni a land, so it's still card for card. Okay, okay. Once again. 13, so he can go with 6 right now. So then he's left with 7, so he's at 3. Not good enough. Again, until we do it. I'm sure the opponent completely doesn't know what is going on in the background. Like, he thinks that he's in control and we are just counting his cards and our mana. Of course, Cabal Stronghold is auto-win, but it's not easy. Like, he cannot exile it, he can only kill it. And then we draw a card. Yes. Okay. That's something. It's so close that, you know, everything counts. And that's not great. Everything that draws cards is bad for us. Especially that it heals him as well. So what we need is Cabal Stronghold or Wish card. We can also get a swamp. Another swamp. Okay, so how much mana do we have right now? 19, so we can go for 17, that's a lot. So he can go 8. 9, so he's at 3 again. I don't like it, because this way, this way he can still use Uro, and we are behind. Though it will kill the Ugin. That's a hard choice, I think we might have to. Yeah, it's 17, so he sacrifices 4, 13, 9. Then he's at 3, so he needs to sacrifice everything he has, but he will get Uro back, and he will be at 6 life. And at 6 life, I'm not sure what we can do. But otherwise, it will be Ugin with ultimate, so he will have so many cards and so much everything that I don't think we will win. Okay, that's the most epic Hailfire I've seen so far, and it's always 3 life, not enough. I'm not sure if we can win after missing those 3 life. We don't have cards that deal damage except this one. But who knows? We will try something. Just not sure what. Yeah, go on. You need a bit more. Yes. One more time. Yes. And now it's fine. At least the enemy now realizes how close to dying he was the whole time. Every single turn, I think he was 3 life or 2 life ahead of the curve. There's a small chance that he will think he's dead. We could actually make a good game, and maybe let's try it. I don't want to be mean, but maybe there's a chance he will think it's enough and he has to die. Wow, those were some nice cards. As you can see, he has a lot of thinking to do. But the Uro's problem, like, next turn he just goes to 6 life, has cards, and he can rebuild, and we probably don't draw anything, because usually we just draw lands all the time. Like, we have 3 Mastermind acquisitions, but it's just not enough. Yeah, now again. That was something, but still not enough. Nissa is good. So, in reality, he will have 2 great cards. And we are top decking. There's Ulamog, Ugin. We have some draw engine. If we draw well, we might still do something, but I honestly know that we just won't probably draw anything except like Cabal Stronghold or another swamp or some removal. Yeah, so that was anticlimactic. I think we drew like 4 or 5 swamps in a row. Still, it was nice game. I liked it a lot. Okay, so what do we have here? Of course, removal, some board sweep, and some cards. And probably it's aggro, so it's very, very, very good cards. This is worse, because he will remove the tome. What? Okay. So maybe he's black-red graveyard target? That's weird. Does he really care about it? Like, I'm super happy. Like, for us the tome is like the card advantage that we need to hopefully win this. And he must be some creature deck. Okay, so he fears the exile. Okay. Okay, let's do it. It's quite interesting. I don't want to scry. Like, we need everything, so... Okay, let's show him our Rotus. He knows what we will do. I wonder what this deck is. I think it might have this 2 mana shade with landfall. It would fit it perfectly, I think. Okay, so right now we are not drawing cards because, like, we are not scrying because it's a bit longer game, and we truly need to, like, have card advantage. And as we can see, he goes all in just to kill us as soon as possible. And we are fine with this. What he knows, he doesn't know about any board sweep. And this one is great. It's flying, so if he attacks with only flyer, with this demonic embrace, we just kill it. We have similar ideas. I would prefer to draw card, to be honest. Like, 4 damage isn't much, and he has like creature based damage, so let's go. I really want cards right now, and I can sweep. Okay. Like, we have 2 removals, 2 board clears, so he can only choose 1. The second one will stick, and then I still have Heartless Act. But that's like very favorable for him to have 2 of those card hides. Do we care? He might not have other creatures. Well, let's do it. Yeah. He seems a cool guy. Okay. And I don't have this one, so... Oh, but I have the crying one. but it didn't show up. I need to equip it, I guess. So the reason I'm fine with sweeping so quickly is because we have additional cards and also like big plays. So either we get mana or we get like anything, it's still relatively fine. And he knows that he needs to equip the demonic embrace for us to have any interest in removing this one. Probably Uramok will be like game winning. Okay, that's fine. And now the question. I'm not sure if he has Planewalker remover. I think he might not, because his deck is about having creatures with flying, and probably that's his strategy to, you know, kill the Planewalkers. So I think he might not have anything else. I might be mistaken, but let's try. It's a bit scary, but poor guy. Oh, and he has it. I don't have good emote for this, so we cannot be very friendly to him, unfortunately. Yeah, I really like it, but of course we need to have some instant remover. I don't think he has any haste, but like we don't lose anything by waiting. It seems that we will just manually cast Uramok without any kind of ramp and any kind of like Cabal, Stronghold or anything, which is a bit funny. And we have even more tomes. Okay. Okay, I'm up for this game, so the more the merrier. We could try this, but that's too risky. Let's just do our thing. So this is cast and this is ability, and this can be interrupted. I think we take it slow. But if he equips the demonic embrace, we can just kill his target. We will go slow, but in a different way. He will have removal for it probably, but we still can kill his. And we have a lot of card draw. Yeah. We can let him attack. Now kill this. I think we are closing the game soon. Even without any Cabal Stronghold. The draws are very interesting today. And we of course stopped at 9 mana, just to be sure. Okay, but jokes aside, we can't get life from this yet. So I think the correct play is just to make sure we have 10 mana, draw cards, and not die before next turn. He will do the demonic embrace, so I think that what we need to do is just to get rid of it, because we cannot remove the creature at the moment. Do we need more mana? Yeah, sure. It's not like we need it, but he can't kill us with 2 Sorens. And the more mana we have, the better the plays that we can do. Especially that I really hope to find the Stronghold and some drawing and Mastermind acquisition. So I think he will scoop in like 2-3 turns probably. Like we are getting to the power level that this deck just doesn't have. Yeah, so he can spend his whole turn to have like 1-2 creatures. Yeah, and we really want to draw, so that's great for us also. Okay. I think we just try to find what we need and close the game, and that's what we need. And maybe, and just for the content and YouTube, I think we'll do something else. We will do something else, just so we have more fun than we should. Some of you might know what I'm talking about. You will see. You will see. I think you will be happy. And I for sure will be happy. He can't kill us because we have this and this, so we are actually at very high HP. Yeah. And we will try to find another Stronghold. And that's our goal for this turn. Yeah, we got to. And now we are doing stuff. So we are looking for Cabal Stronghold, just to double our mana, and Mastermind acquisition. Whatever we find, we just use the talisman anyway. Oh, no. I wanted to draw a card. Can we do it somehow? No. We just remove something. Our goal is just to get a card, and that's it. The suspense is getting better, but you will see in a second. We don't get perfect cards, but it will be enough. But as you can see, generally this deck has insane amount of plays, like when you have the mana and all the cards. And we are trying again. We need Cabal Stronghold or Mastermind acquisition. And we get the other one with the talisman. No. I think the enemy is really wondering what we are doing and what do we wait. No. It seems we didn't get any of those. So we will just do it differently. We could just use the Ulamog and finish the game, but where's the fun in it? How much do we have? 21. So 20, 16, 14. Okay. So that's the moment we've been waiting for. I hope you like it. I for sure will like it. And I'm pretty sure the enemy is right now wondering what is going to happen. And that's the kill that we really wanted today. Let's give him some love. And that's why this deck is great, because you can just Torment of Hellfire for 14 and it's super satisfying. Yes, and we could win this game 10 times before, but it was still worth it, I think. It was worth for me for sure.